March 1st, 2021. Honey, don't forget that I'm having dinner with some friends from work tonight, my wife said as she was rushing out the door to go to work. Sure, I'll make something for dinner. Have a good time, sweetheart, I replied. I'm Tom Matthews, and my wife Barbara is 32 years old. We have 2 grown children, our son Robert and his wife Teresa, and our daughter Elizabeth. I have a wonderful family, and I consider myself an incredibly lucky man. However, things are not what they seem. March 8th. Barbara, who usually got up early to get ready for work, was still in bed. It was 7:30 a.m. Honey, are you okay? It's already 7:30, I asked. No, I feel very sick. I think I'll have to call work and say I'm sick, she replied. I called her office and told them she wasn't feeling well and that I would let them know how she was feeling. Since the pandemic broke out, we have revised our approach to work to ensure maximum safety. Barbara worked for a large local construction company that, despite the pandemic, still had many projects. She went to work every day, wore a mask, and tried to maintain social distance. In a couple of weeks, we were scheduled to get vaccinated. I work in the finance department of a large lending company and am able to work from home. My job is to prepare financial data for the board of directors, process reports required by the State Corporate Commission, and prepare tax information for the IRS. The work isn't interesting, but it pays well, and thanks to Barbara's job as assistant to the president of a construction company, we lived comfortably. I've been working since I graduated from college for 33 years now. Barbara handles all the affairs of the company president. His name is Jonathan Reynolds. Barbara has been working there for 25 years, starting after our youngest went to school. We both liked our jobs and the people we worked with. Barbara took her temperature, and it was 38 degrees. Honey, maybe you should get tested for COVID, I said. Oh no, there have been several cases of COVID at work. I think I'll go get tested. Yes, that's a good idea. I'll sleep in another room until you get the results, although if you have COVID, then I probably have it too. She went to a local pharmacy where she got tested. The results would be ready in 2 days. March 10th, 2021. I got the results, I've got it, Barbara said. I'm so sorry, honey, but at least you know. You need to call the office and tell them because you've been in contact with them. Who did you have dinner with last week? They might need to get tested, too. Just Sally and the new girl, Regina. We invited her over to welcome her to the company. I'll call them. At least I'm working from home, so I can be your nurse. I'll call our doctor and ask what he recommends. Get into bed, I'll make you breakfast. The doctor was very kind, but basically just told me to give Barbara vitamin C, B3, zinc, and lots of fluids. The doctors also said that if Barbara had trouble breathing or developed a very high fever, we should take her to the emergency room. I called the kids to let them know what had happened and told them we would be okay. This pandemic has changed everything. Our lifestyle, work, schools, business, everything has become more difficult. But we have been lucky so far. March 14th, 2021. Barbara seemed to be feeling okay. She had a slight fever and was coughing very little. She was very tired, and I tried to cook her some of her favorite things. She had lost her sense of taste, but that wasn't a big deal because I'm not as good a cook as she is. I started to feel sick. Barbara, I think I need to get tested. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat. I think I have a fever. I got tested and will find out the results in a couple of days. March 15th, 2021. I was feeling worse, but the test results hadn't come back yet. I was sure I had it. I could barely manage to make breakfast and lunch. My sister, who lives next door, said she would bring us dinner. Bless my family. They are always there for me when I need them. March 16th, 2021. My test results came back positive. I'm in bed and can barely get up. Barbara seems to be getting better. I've learned how to order groceries online for home delivery. It helps, but it's still hard to make a proper dinner. March 17th, 2021. People from our church found out that Barbara and I have COVID. Some brought food and drinks. It's nice to know that when you're sick, people come to help. It's amazing. I have no energy. My temperature isn't going up, but I feel very tired. Barbara seems to be getting better. She has a little more energy. March 18th, 2021. Barbara didn't have a fever today and is feeling a little better. She's waiting for me now. I asked her how she thinks she got COVID, but she said she doesn't know. The phone rang, and I answered. It was Sally from Barbara's work. She said she was calling to see how we were doing. I thanked her and asked how she was. She said everything was fine. Then she said she hadn't left the house in a couple of months. This surprised me because Barbara had told me that she had gone out to dinner with Sally and a new employee named Regina. I thanked Sally for her concern and asked if anyone else at the office had COVID. She said that Jonathan had been in quarantine for 14 days and was feeling fine, but would be returning to work in a few days. I feel out of sorts. Not only did I get sick with coronavirus, but my wife lied to me. I didn't think she had ever lied to me in all the time we've known each other. What do I do now? I feel terrible, but I need to know what's going on. March 19th, 2021. I didn't sleep all night. I had to find out. I sat down at the computer and decided to check our credit cards to see if there had been any transactions. Barbara and I had our own credit cards, but she paid hers and I paid mine. I rarely check the balance because we mostly paid our bills every month. I had set them up so we could check them because someone had hacked our accounts a few years ago. My hands were shaking as I looked through her account. Oh my God. There it was. On March 1st, she had a charge at the Hampton Inn. The Hampton Inn is 20 miles away from us. That same evening, she had dinner with friends. I was furious. What should I do? How could she do this to me? She was still at home, but she was feeling better. When she saw me, she knew something was wrong. She said I looked worse than I did in the morning. I told her I wanted to stay in bed. I went to my son's room and got into bed. She brought me soup, but I wasn't hungry. She tried to talk to me, but I kept acting like I wanted to sleep. She closed the door so I could sleep. I still love her with all my heart, but this is awful. I can't live without her, and I have to tell her that I know. It hurts so much. Even though I feel terrible, I'm going to need Barb's help. I can't recover from COVID without her. March 20th, 2021. I woke up with a high fever. Barbara brought me juice and a bagel. I really didn't feel like eating, but I knew I had to. She sat next to me while I ate. Barbara, how long have you been sleeping with Jonathan Reynolds? Her face turned pale and she asked, Why would you think that? I only love you. Well, I found out that you two were at the Hampton Inn on the same night you told me you were having dinner with Sally and your new girlfriend. By the way, Sally denies she was with you that night. Barbara just burst into tears and ran out of the room. At least she knows I know. This should be interesting. When I found out, I decided right away that I was going to talk to her. I'm not the type to drag things out, follow her around, or spy on her. That's the one thing Barbara has always known about me. When she was caught lying, she always confessed. Funny how that works. Later, Barbara quietly returned to the room. Are you ready to tell me about it? She started crying and begging for forgiveness. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Just tell me the truth, please. That's all I want. Be honest. I think I deserve it. Yes, my love, you deserve it. There are no excuses. You are the love of my life. I never thought otherwise. I know I did a terrible thing, but you are the only one I want to spend the rest of my life with. Well, where did our marriage go wrong? She cried again and said, It was just a fling. Well, I wish you had told me or asked me. I would have done anything for you, and you know that. I always wanted to try something new in bed and tried to suggest it to you, but you always rejected me. Why? Barbara sniffed and said, When Jonathan started spending more time with me, I became more relaxed. He's a very intelligent and handsome man, although not as handsome as you. I rolled my eyes. I've worked for him for over 20 years. We know each other well and feel comfortable in each other's company. We just grew closer over the years. I've never criticized you. We both respect you, and I love you to death. That's a nice way of putting it. I'm sure you both had a good laugh at my naivety. No, never. I know I did a terrible thing, but you're my rock and my love, and no one can change that. How long have you two been seeing each other? I'm tired of being in the dark. Just tell me the truth, I swear to God. I will. It was 3 years ago. I can't believe it. You've been sleeping with him for 3 years. I'm such a fool. No, you're not a fool. We probably did it once a month on average. Okay. I didn't think you could make me feel any worse. Please leave and let me sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. Barbara got up to kiss me, but I turned away. I told her to leave. She was crying when she closed the door. March 21st, 2021. I've never felt so alone. No children, no wife. I can't see them, and I don't want to see her. I think about all the times I was at a party with Jonathan while he was sleeping with my wife. I feel so stupid. What surprises me is that I can't remember a single time when he didn't respect me or make me feel humiliated. I'm so sad, and I feel so bad. She knocks on the door and asks what I want for breakfast. I'm not hungry. Just give me some time. I'll bring you the vitamins you need to take. You need them. She leaves, and I try to go back to sleep. Barbara returns to the room. Barbara always likes to explain everything. She always tries to justify her decisions. This should be interesting to hear. Tom, from the moment I met you in college, I loved you. I know it took you a little longer to open up to me, but I was yours forever. I made a huge mistake, kept making it, and tried to deny it. There are no excuses. I was selfish and terrible. You don't deserve any of this. I feel awful. I called Jonathan and handed in my resignation. You're the only one I want, and I always will be. What did Jonathan say? Did he try to talk you out of it? Yes, until I told him you knew about it. Then he realized that after all this, it would be impossible to work together. Let's say we get divorced. You'll need this job. We both make good money, but after splitting everything in half, things will change very quickly. She started crying and left the room. Great conversation, I thought to myself. I closed the door and locked it. I didn't want to talk anymore today. March 22nd, 2021. I woke up feeling even worse than the day before. I still had a high fever and my pajamas were soaked with sweat. Barbara was feeling better, but I seemed to be in the same state. Barbara knocked on the door and asked to come in. I said, "Give me a few more minutes." I got up, opened the door, and she came in with my medicine, juice, and breakfast. She wanted to continue our conversation. Honey, I know I've ruined you and betrayed you. I feel so bad. But please, I beg you, don't divorce me. I'll live like a slave in the basement if I have to. What's wrong with you? You had an affair for 3 years without thinking that I might find out. And now suddenly you've become religious and are ready to change your life. I don't know who's stupider, me, because I believed you for the last 3 years, or you, because you thought I would just forgive you. I'll go to a psychologist. I swear I'll do anything to save our marriage. It takes 2 to save a marriage, dear, and I'm not sure I want that. Please don't say that. I know I can be a loving wife to you. I'll do anything to make you forgive me. Just let me fight this illness and regain my strength. I ate breakfast and rolled over to the other side. I have no strength. I feel exhausted. We go through the day without talking much. At this point, I don't know what I want. I just want to get better. The craziest thing is that I still love her, but I'm too tired to fight for her. If she still wants me, maybe there's a chance to get things back. If she wants him, then no way. I feel like I've been betrayed by someone who always supported me. Now I know that's not true. Will I ever be able to trust her again? I wish I felt better so I could get away for a while and think things through. March 23rd, 2021. I woke up this morning feeling stiff. My back probably hurts from lying in bed for so long. I need to get up and walk around, but I'm too weak. Going to the bathroom and walking are hard work. Barbara made me a special breakfast of omelet, which I love, with bacon and toast. I wish I could taste it. I know it smells delicious. I try to eat, but I don't really want to. She begs me to eat and says she'll make anything I want. I guess a one-way ticket to hell is too much. She says she made an appointment for us with a psychologist who was highly recommended by Sally, who went through a difficult period a few years ago. She and her husband loved this psychologist and thought he could help us too. I asked, "Barbara, does Sally know about you and Jonathan?" "Oh, no, we were very careful." Sally is very perceptive. I'm sure she guessed something was going on because it's almost impossible to hide a 3-year affair. Tom, I'm so sorry. I feel disgusted with myself for hurting you so much. I want you to know that Jonathan is not the best lover. Not better than you and not more than you. He's just different, and I did the wrong thing. He feels guilty too, and I know he wasn't interested in me except as a fling. He dates lots of women all over town and couldn't be faithful even if he wanted to. I'm so sorry. I love you so much and will do anything to get you back. Please give me a chance. If he was making you feel bad, why did you stay with him for 3 years? You must have found some kind of comfort in it. Did you ever come home after being with him and have sex with me? No, never, I swear. I would never do that. I never brought him to our house. Okay. I couldn't have handled it if you two had defiled our bedroom, where we conceived our children. Did you ever do anything we didn't do? Once he wanted to tie me up, but I was too scared. It's not my fantasy, and I told him so. Wow, that was very noble of you. You have principles. They're just incredibly low. Is he a good lover? Why do you need to know? You're the best anyway. It was just a terrible mistake. I can't believe I did it. I was just entertainment for him. He dates a lot of women. Forget about him. You're all I need, and I want you to get better so we can move on. I'll never forgive myself for this. How would you feel if I had been seeing someone else for 3 years? What would you have done? I would have been hurt and very angry. Honey, I don't blame you for your feelings. What I did was terrible, and you deserve better. I beg you, please forgive me. I need to rest. Good night. I closed my eyes so she would leave. March 24th, 2021. This morning I woke up with severe back pain. I also had difficulty breathing. It was 5 a.m., but I felt like I needed to go to the emergency room. I got dressed and got in my car to drive myself to the hospital. I knew Barbara would want to come with me, but she wouldn't be allowed in because I would be in isolation. I went to the emergency room. The nurses and staff saw me and quickly hooked me up to an oxygen monitor. I feel like it's getting harder to breathe. It hurts to breathe in and out. They did an EKG, then a chest X-ray, and then a CT scan to check my lungs. I'm lying on a stretcher in the emergency room waiting for someone to tell me something. The staff here is especially nice. The nurse told me they're looking at the charts and will let me know as soon as they have anything. The emergency doctor comes into the room and tells me that I have blood clots in my lungs. He adds that I will be admitted to the hospital and put on an IV drip, and that I will be given blood thinners. I feel better knowing what is causing the pain. The nurse changes me into a hospital gown and moves me to a COVID ward. I asked for a phone, and they brought me one. Surprisingly, I had forgotten my cell phone, which I usually always carry with me. I called home to tell Barbara what was happening. She started crying, thinking I had abandoned her. She begged me to forgive her and said she should have taken me to the hospital. I told her she wasn't allowed in the hospital, so she shouldn't worry. She kept crying on the phone. I told her I had to hang up. I don't know what's worse, her crying on the phone, or the fact that I can't breathe. I've seen 4 nurses, 2 nursing assistants, 3 doctors, and 4 technicians, and I feel like they really care about me. They're giving me food and medicine through an IV. It's easier to breathe, although I still need oxygen. These people are good. Now they want me to eat, but I have no appetite. I ordered soup for lunch and chicken and rice for dinner. Everyone says the food in the hospital is bad, but I can't taste anything, so it's not a problem. Barbara called me back, apologized again, and said she had talked to the children and told them I was in the hospital. My son wanted to visit me, but she told him no one could see me. I love my children and miss them, as we haven't seen each other during the pandemic. When this is all over, we're going to have a big party for the whole family in our backyard. I settle in for the night, but at midnight, 2 a.m., and 4 a.m., they check my vitals, and at 6 a.m., they take my blood. It seems like I get a lot of rest, but I hardly sleep. They really care about their patients. The nurses have to wear masks, face shields, everything is covered, and gloves. I don't know how they can stand it. They are amazing. March 25th, 2021. After giving blood at 6 a.m., I doze off for a while, but wake up when breakfast is brought in. It's pancakes with bacon, which I love, but I'm not very hungry. I manage to eat almost everything. The phone rings, and Barbara is crying again and asking how I am. I tell her that I think I'm better, but I'm still very tired. She keeps apologizing and says she would like to see me. I believe her. Barbara has her flaws, but she is also very compassionate toward those who are suffering or sick. She is usually the first person from church to bring food, a card, or groceries. I know that deep down she feels terrible and understands that she and Jonathan infected me with COVID. I'm too sick to make decisions about our marriage or our future, but I have a lot to think about in the next few weeks. The doctors come to tell me how the treatment is going and how my vitals are improving. I can feel it because I'm not gasping for air when I get up to go to the bathroom. Every little thing helps. I talk to my children, my daughter, son, and daughter-in-law. They cheer me up, and I teared up when they told me how important I am to them. The first thought that comes to my mind after I'm discharged is what to do about my relationship with my wife. Just walk away or try to work things out. The children will feel it too. It's not an easy decision. But her betrayal was deep and strong, and it hurts. Barbara called back and said she had talked to most of our family members, and they all care about me and love me. I asked her, "Barbara, how do you think Jonathan got the coronavirus and then infected you and then me?" She cries and says that she thinks Jonathan got it during a trip to the West Coast to visit a manufacturer and didn't know he had it until he infected everyone else. When did you think you got it? I hoped it wasn't Jonathan, but he was the only one who could have been infected. She started crying again, and I hung up. I was very tired, but all I could do was doze. I turned on the TV, but I only wanted to watch something funny or sports. Everything else depressed me. Now even sports had become political. I thought, can't I just play a game? I need to sleep. I'm very tired. I'll think about it in the morning. Epilogue, March 26, 2021. The code blue alarm sounds and nurses and doctors rush into the ward. A patient is suffocating. Thomas Robert Matthews died at 1:45 a.m. on March 26, 2021, from COVID due to a blood clot in his lung. He could not be saved. March 31st, 2021. The church was filled to capacity. People outside tried to hear part of the service. People came from all over the world to say goodbye to Tom and comfort his wife and family. It was a beautiful early spring day, and it was nice to see how much Tom meant to so many people. He probably didn't even remember all the good things he did for so many people, but they remembered him. His daughter, son, and daughter-in-law were at the ceremony. His wife was almost catatonic. She was given medication and told to stay home. I don't know how many people knew about her secret, as Tom didn't tell anyone before he died, and it's unlikely that anyone else knew. Epilogue. Barbara lived for another 22 years, but never left the house and became a recluse. She didn't have to go back to work because Tom had insurance and investments. She was never the same again. Her only happiness was being with her children, grandchildren, and great-grandson. She was devastated by Tom's loss, but she was grateful for the long years they had spent together. Incidentally, Jonathan Reynolds sat in the back row at the funeral, crying. He wasn't alone. Many others were crying, too. Tom had touched more lives than he could ever have imagined.